Hi all, a very warm welcome to Anil Nair classes. I'm Sheetal, your English trainer. So we'll continue with your verb chapter. But before moving further, I just remembered when I discussed with some of my students who have taken this August, there was August 2019, there was exam of EPF4 SSA prelims exams for there, right? So I just tried to ask them and we discussed what kind of the questions were there, how they have taken the test, what was the level of difficulty. I just discussed with my students and I came to know, or after the discussion I analyzed and I found out that the English language section in this all the questions were the same how the conventional bank exam pattern was there, and overall level was almost medium level difficulty. The questions were there, right? So there was one set of reading comprehension was there, and that some story was based on some king story. So the story which was based on some king has come, and the sentence arrangement question was also there. So there was some sentence rearrangement questions were there. Now these questions were also based on the story. So that means connectivity was very important. If a person has got a habit of reading, right? So as I told you, start reading your Hindu and all, the Times of India Hindu. The Hindu is best for your Indian competitive exams. Times of India, the words are mostly for, it would be good if you're taking your GRE, GMAT and all. But if you're taking your bank PO, SSA exam and all, then this the Hindu is better. Right? So some sentence rearrangement, some 5 questions were there, and related to spelling errors, some 5 questions were there. If you talk about the error spotting, some 5 questions were there. Reading comprehension, 9 questions were there, right? And then some fillers were there. So the 5th question type was some single fillers, filling the blank type of questions were there. There again 5 were there. So altogether they gave you 30 questions, right? And the time was what? Time was very limited. No, 20 minutes they give you to solve these questions. So the easy to moderate or the easy to medium level. So the people who have prepared, they told either some of them the questions they found very easy, some they found the medium level difficulty. Just couple of questions they found very tough. But then since they were thorough with their strategy and concepts, that's the reason some of the difficult questions, one person told this is quite difficult, the other one said it is medium. So I came to know that the easy, medium or difficult level depends upon your level of preparation, right? So if majority of students are saying that the level of difficulty was medium, and then we have a bunch of students we say very difficult, so that means those people who are saying difficult, their preparation was not good. So when I talk about the sentence rearrangement and the error spotting questions, if you know your concepts related to grammar, you can do it very easily, these questions. So that is what we are going ahead with that itself. So I hope this we get a fair idea that at least 5 to 6 questions related to error spottings we might get, some 5-6 questions in terms of sentence rearrangement we'll get. So altogether I am aiming 10 questions you can solve if you're properly, they'll help you. See 5 though you'll definitely be able to solve. Another 5 you will get help to solve provided your concepts are clear, right? So let's move ahead to we'll discuss about the exam pattern a little later. Now we were talking about the verbs. We have 2 types of the verbs, finite verbs and the non-finite verbs. Now if finite verb is a verb which changes with the person. Remember we discussed about the first person, second person and the third person, right? The first, second and the third person we discussed. So this is the verb which changes with the first person, second person, third person, and it changes with the subject and the verb number also. If the number of subject and the verb changes, it also changes. It has got the forms in the past and the present forms also. That means when they have the past and the present form, that means they have tenses also. So every sentence must have a finite verb. Right, so let's look at one table where we'll discuss about some finite verbs. Like the first person, I eat we eat. Second person, you eat, you eat. But when the third person is there, it becomes eats. He eats, they eat. She eats, they eat. It eats, they eat. So we know that singular verb ends with S in present tense. As well as your subject-verb agreement is applicable only for the third person. For the third person, you will have the subject-verb agreement. We don't look for the subject-verb agreement in the form of first and the second person. We look it only for the third person, right? And in the present tense, our singular verb ends with S. Clear? Let's move ahead to the next one. Now the verb eat in the above table was finite because it was changing with the person as well as with the number of the subject also it was changing. Clear? Next one. Non-finite verb does not change to reflect the singular, plural or the tense. So depending upon the singular and the plural form of the subject, this will not change. Also, it does not have the tense also. So no tense, no singular plural form. So it's not there only. Right? So let's have a look at it. See, S forms like finite verbs. They have given the table like non-finite verbs are the verbs which are ending with ing, like eating, reading, writing, using, these participle forms, or the infinitive form. Infinitive is 2 plus verb like to eat, to run, to use. Past participle, eaten, run, used. They will not change the form with the form of the singular and the plural form of the subject. They will always remain same, right? Whereas if you look at the eat, eats, eat, ate, laugh, laugh, laughed, runs, run, ran. So these are the different forms which are there, right? For the finite verbs. Whereas the non-finite verbs we have in the participle form, that is the present participle form, the past participle form and the infinitive form. Clear? Let's move ahead. Now ending in ing form, that is called as the participles. That too we call it as a present participle. That is, I saw her feeding rabbit. So feeding is the ing form or the present participle or the present participle form or the participle form. Infinitive form, to talk with your mouth full is not a nice thing. So to talk is the infinitive form. Past participle form, the prehistoric artifact stolen from the museum was never recovered. So here stolen is the past participle form. Let's move ahead. Moods. Now there are different moods are there which shows what is the attitude of the speaker. Depending upon the attitude of the speaker or the writer, the verb has got 3 moods, right? So simple statement or the fact if the person is saying, then it can be indicative mood. Indicative means it's just a simple statement. Command means imperative mood, or imagination and wish will be subjunctive. So I'll just repeat. If it is simple statement or a fact, it is indicative mood. If it is an imperative mood, the command will be there. Imagination or a wish, the subjunctive mood will be there. We'll discuss about their examples in the next slide. Now have a look at it. See, the meal is delicious. It's just the statement is given. So this is the statement given. Right? So that is why it is indicative. She drives to work every day, working every day, work every working day. So drives to work is again the statement is there. So when it is a statement, it is an indicative mood. Have you done your homework? It's just the simple statement asking the question. So it's again the indicative mood. Do you believe in ghosts? So this is again, yeah, do you really believe? A lot of people are giving the answers, right? Yes, no, let's move ahead. Yes, I believe. I get scared of the ghosts. Okay, so it's an indicative or the statement mood is given over here. Let's move ahead to the next part. Imperative mood, as we told, it is used to express the commands, right? Or to give a order, right? So it will always be accompanied by the exclamation mark at the end of the sentence because it is a commanding or order is there. So that is the reason we'll put the exclamation mark. So subject of the imperative statement is understood. It won't be there, but it will be always understood that the second person you will be the subject. Even if it is not given, the verb should agree with the second person you. So second person verb will be used. Like wait here. You see exclamation mark is there. It is understood that we are telling you wait here. but it will not be written. Pay attention, exclamation mark. It is understood that you is the subject. Leave me alone, exclamation mark is given, plus you is understood. It will not be mentioned, but it will be understood. So the point of this slide is, in the imperative mood, the verb will be used to express the command or to give a order, right? So again, in that, at the end of this sentence or the imperative mood sentences, you will have the exclamation mark, plus the second person you will always be the subject over here. So it will be well understood, even though in the sentence the you will not be written, but you have to understand that they are telling that you is the subject over here. Clear? I hope the point of this slide is clear to everybody over here. Let's move ahead to the next slide then. The third mood we have to discuss about. Now, imperative mood may also be used to express an instruction, right? So when you express an instruction, then what will happen? There is no need to put because it's just the instruction. So when the instructions are given, there is no need to give you are just expressing an instruction. So if the instruction is there, no need to give the exclamation point, right? It's little less emphatic over here. In the previous one, it was more. So we were putting the exclamation mark. Now get it done by today. It's just a instruction. A command is given over here. So when you're commanding over here, again the full stop is okay. So who should get it done by today? You. So you is the subject, but it is not written. Close the door behind you. It's again an instruction or a command which is given. You is the well understood subject. Put it over there. Full stop is given. No exclamation mark, because again over here it is a command, right? So understood subject over here is you. Clear? So imperative is for the command or to show the expressions. Clear? Next sentence. Subjunctive. Subjunctive is the word like where the verb will express the imagination or something which you wish. Possibly something, not necessarily something which is real or true. Right? So in this form, the verb which will be used will be in the past tense of the verb. Be will be used, which will always be verb. We will never use was. So was is wrong in subjunctive. We'll always use were. Remember that in using the subjunctive, were is used in all the persons. Now whether you're using the first person, second person, third person, you'll always use the were over here, right? So nothing like that. Anything when you are imagining, some imagination is happening, or you wish that something is not real, right? You talking about that thing to happen. So at that time the subjunctive mood will be there. In the subjunctive always the were will be used. We will never use was with that, right? Clear? Let's see some examples. I wish I were an astronaut. So it is something you are wishing, right? It is not there. You are imagining. It's possible. It's not real, but you are wishing, right? You imagine that if you were astronaut, what you would do. You behave as though you were the only one with this ability. Again, it is not the real thing, but you are imagining something. Would she go supposing she were invited? Again, nothing real is there, but she is imagining that she was invited. So all the places the verb is in the form of were. Clear? So the point of this slide is, in the subjunctive mood, we will never use was. We will always use were. Right? Subjunctive is used when we are talking about some imagination, or you're wishing something, or you're talking about something which is not necessarily real or true. Clear? Let's move ahead to the next slide. We also use the subjunctive mood when we are talking about the hypothetical situation. Now again, hypothetical also means something same which you're wishing, not real and all. And they begin with the if. Always remember, in the if clause, would will never come. Remember that. If he were alive, you are imagining over here. Hypothetically, you are assuming. He wouldn't be happy with what you are doing. Again, look at here. The would is not in the if clause. It's in the second clause. Right? So next one. If I were you. You see, were is there in the, you are not saying if I was you. If I were you, I wouldn't do the stupid thing. So hypothetical situations, would will come in the second clause. Were will come in the if clause. If she worked hard, right? She could go to the university. Would, could, they will come in the second clause. They will never come in the if clause. Next slide. Now transitive verbs and the intransitive verbs also we have discussed that the verbs which are, we don't have the object, right? So intransitive verbs, no object is there. Now they have given you some list of the verbs which are intransitive. Like I'll just read it out. You have to read it twice, thrice. So 2 weeks consistently after every 2 days. Read it. Like around, arrive, bloom, come, cough, cry, dance, die, lie, linger, occur, pause, pray, rain, remain, rise, exist, faint, fall, gallop, go, hesitate, laugh, ache, yawn, thrive, talk, sneeze, sleep, sit. I have just read it out. There's nothing to explain. Something which you have to memorize is this given in this slide. Clear? Now, intransitive verbs will not have the objects. Right? They'll always be followed by some phrase. Like, for example, his back gardens bounds with weeds. So, abounds is the verb, but there is no object. Abounds what? With weed. Weed is not the object. Weed is with weed is the prepositional phrase. Right? So, it's not the object of the verb. Now, they arrive at the airport as the sun rises. Right? They arrive. Where they arrive, we don't know. But we come to know that they come. So, at the airport, as the sun rises, are the prepositional phrases. So, they are not the objects. While the parents are praying, the baby is crying. So, are praying is the verb. It's an intransitive verb. But the baby is crying is the next clause. It's the next clause. It's not there's no object over there. Fine? Transitive and intransitive verb. They both, verbs that are both intransitive as well as in the intransitive forms. They are also there. That means they have the transitive form also, they have the intransitive form also. In the next slide, we'll discuss about their forms or the examples. So again, the complete list is given. You have to read it for 15 days after every 2 days. Then only will be. So something which you have to memorize. Like adapt, answer, ask, begin, borrow, break, burn, choose, climb, continue, wash, fail, fill, fly, grow, hang, help, hold, hurry, hurt, pull, read, ring, run, see, sell, sung, touch, turn, eat, end, enter, know, leave, marry, meet, move, win. These are all your verbs which are present both in transitive as well as in the intransitive forms. Clear? Let's move ahead to the next slide. Hi, so let's move ahead to the next and see some examples where the transitive and intransitive verbs are there. The same word in different contexts, different sentences will be functioning as transitive as well as intransitive verb. She left the house early. Left is the verb over here. Who left? She left. She left what? She left the house. Here the object is there. So this verb left over here in this sentence is a transitive verb because the object is there. Right? So this is the first one, left. In the second sentence you see, she left early. Verb is left. Who left? She left. So early is an adverb. We don't have the object over here. So no object. This is the intransitive verb. Second is borrowed. How the borrowed can function as transitive, intransitive. Borrowed. He borrowed some money from the bank. Who borrowed? He borrowed. So he is the subject. He borrowed what? He borrowed money. Money is the object. So this is the transitive verb. Second, he borrowed heavily from the bank. So borrowed is the verb. Who borrowed? He borrowed. Heavily is adverb. From the bank is your prepositional phrase. So a phrase is there but no object. So that is why in the second sentence borrowed is functioning as the intransitive verb. Third example may we'll look at sold. They sold their house to a friend. So sold is the verb. Who sold? They sold. They sold what? They sold the house. To a friend is your prepositional phrase. Now object is there. So this is the transitive. Next sentence. Their house was sold to a friend. Was sold is the verb. What was sold? House. House is the subject. To a friend is the prepositional phrase. Right? So there is no object. That is why how you see the sold, borrowed and left, they are functioning as transitive as well as intransitive verb. Next slide. Auxiliary verbs are like there are two types, like we have the primary verbs and the modals, right? Modal verbs and the primary verbs. Now the primary verbs of the helping verbs, auxiliary verbs are also our helping verbs, the same name, just the other verb, same thing is there, but some people some books will say helping verb, some will say auxiliary verb, but they are same, right? So we'll have the forms of to be, we have the forms of to have and do. These are the three primary ones, right? Then we have the modals also. Modals, you know, can, could, shall, etc. Right? We'll have a table next slide. We'll discuss about them. Next one. See, this talks about the table makeup of the auxiliary verbs. The primary verbs, S forms are there first. Second, it is present in the past form. Third one, it is present in the past participle. Forms of to be, is, was, were and be. Have ka, has, had and had. Do, does, did and done. So this is the simple present form, past participle. Modals, we have the present and the, this is in the future, right? So this is the past form. Will, would, can, could, may, might, shall, should, must, ought to and used to. This table you have to give yourself 15 days, right? Every alternate day, read the next 10 slides, right? 8 to 10 slides. What you have to do, I'm telling you. 1 minute per, right? This is you have to learn. You have to memorize. Nothing is there to understand, or understanding is there, but explanation not much, right? You have to memorize. Clear? Next slide. Linking verbs, like these are the verbs which will act as a linking verb. Linking verb, we know what is something about them is subject you will have, then you will have the linking verb, right? And then you will have the subject complement, which will be the noun functioning as adjective form. This subject complement will be telling something more about the subject. Like examples are act, appear, seem, smell, be, become, sound and stay. Right? Let's move ahead. Now state verbs are the verbs which refer to experience conditions. They do not refer to actions. So the first thing what you have to remember, that is they are not present in the, they usually don't have the continuous form. But they have the continuous form only when they are describing the actions. Otherwise they are not there. Like see the example. She loves the baby madly and will do anything for him. So loves is experiencing. So it's a state of experience, right? So that is why it is present in the present tense. It's not in the continuous form. See the another example. The same, the wrong form will be what? She is loving the baby. Now is loving is wrong, right? Because here you're talking about what she is feeling, right? So this is wrong over here. Let's see one more example. I see from your look that you do not like me a bit. Now here the verb see is talking about I understand or I realize, right? So that is why it is in the state form. This is something which he experienced. Now I am seeing your mother about your breaking my windows. Now am seeing over here is something stating to meet. Like I'm going and meeting. Going to meet your mother. Or going to complain, right? To meet and I shall complain that you have broken my window. So this is the action. So since this is the action, it is in the continuous form. Otherwise it could have not been there, right? So let's move ahead. This is the table as I told you. You have to memorize it. I don't have to do anything. You have to memorize. Anyhow, I will read this. No problem. So like appear, be, believe, concern, consist, dislike, expect, feel, forget, love, matter, mean, notice, awe, own, possess, prefer, realize, smell, suppose, thin, thrust, understand, want, wish, taste, weigh, hate, have, know, like, refuse, remember, see, seem, belong, hope, think, forgive, recognize, hear, need. These are some common forms of the state verbs. That means they will not have the continuous form until and unless they are referring to the some action. If they'll refer to action, then only they'll be in the continuous form. Otherwise they'll be in the simple S form only. Clear? Next slide. Now there are three forms for the verbs. That is the present form, the first form, second form which is in the past form, the third form is the past participle form, and the present participle is verb plus ing. That is like reading, speaking, etc. Right? Past participle is nothing but verb plus ed or en. Fine. Past tense we all know. Let's move ahead. We'll look into the table. Now there are certain rules which we have to, or rather examples are there. Something which is there means it's like that only. You have to memorize them. So this is again something coming for your memorization. So the base form, past form and the past participle form. Abide, abode, abode. Arise, arisen, arisen. Awake, awoke, awoken. Be, am and are ka was, were and been. Right? Bear, bore, born and born. Beat, beat, beaten. Become, became, become. Fine. So this you will read it, right? Repeatedly, every alternate days. Next one. The verbs that change completely while forming the past tense and the past participle. Like the base form, past form and the past participle form. Befall, befell, befallen. Begin, began, begun. Behold, beheld, beheld. Bend, bent, bent. Bereave, bereft, bereft. Beseech, besought, besought. Bet, bet, bet. Next slide, please. Now, sometimes the verb change completely while forming the past tense and the past participle. Let's have completely it will change. Like bid, bade, bidden. Bid, bid, bid. Bind, bound, bound. Bite, bit, bitten. Bleed, bled, bled. Blow, blew, blown. Break, broke, broken. This also you have to memorize. Next slide. Some verbs will change completely while forming the past tense and the past participle. Like breed, bred, bred. Bring, brought, brought. Broadcast, broadcast, broadcast. Build, built, built. Burn, burnt, burnt. Burst, burst, burst. All three are same. Bust, bust, bust. Same. All the three are same over here. Clear? Next slide, please. So, the verbs that change completely while forming the past tense and the past participle. Like buy, bought, bought. Cast, cast, cast. All the three are same. Catch, caught, caught. Chide, chid, chidden. Chose, chose, chosens. One O is less over here, right? Cleave, clove, cleft. Cloven, deft. Clink, clung, clung. Next slide. So, verbs that change completely. The same thing is going on. Clothe, clad, clad. Come, came, come. Cost, cost, cost. It's same. Creep, crept, crept. Cut, cut, cut. Cut is again same in all the three. Deal, dealt, dealt. Dig, dug, dug. Next slide. These slides are you have to learn only. Like do, did, done. Draw, drew, drawn. Dream, dreamt, dreamt. Drink, drank, drunk. Drive, drone, driven. Dwell, dwelt, dwelt. Eat, ate, eaten. Again you have to memorize this slide. Next slide. The same. Fall, fell, fallen. Fart, fart, fart. All are same. Feed, fed, fed. Feel, felt, felt. Fight, fought, fought. Find, found, found. Fit, fit, fit. All the three are same over here also. Next slide. Flee, fled, fled. Flying, flung, flung. Fly, flew, flown. Forbid, forbade, forbidden. Forecast, forecast, forecast. Forget, forgot, forgotten. Forgive, forgave, forgiven. Next, the forsake, forsook, forsaken, forsaken. Freeze, froze, frozen. Gainsay, gainsaid, gainsaid. Get, got. Grid, grit, grit. Give, gave, given. Go, went, gone. Next one. Grave, groove, graven. Grow, grew, grown. Hang, hung, hung. This is same. Have, had. Hear, heard, heard. Heap, hove, hove. Hewed, hewn. Next slide. Hide, hid, hidden. Hit. Hold, held, held. Hurt. This is same. Inlay, inlaid. Input. This is also same. Keep, kept. Next slide. Kneel, knelt. Knit. Know, knew, known. Laid, leaded, leaden. Lay, laid. Led. Lean, lent. Next slide. Leap, leapt. Learn, learnt. Leave, left. Lend, lent. Let. Lie, lay, lane. Light, lit. Next slide. Lose, lost. Make, made. Mean, meant. Meet, met. Mistake, mistook, mistaken. Mow, mound. partake, partook, partaken, pay, paid, paid, plead, pled, pled, put, put. This is same. Quiet, quit, quit. This is also same. Read, read. Lend, lent, rent. Rid. This is same. Next slide. Ride, rode, ridden. Ring, rang, rung. Rise, rose, risen. Run, ran, run. Saw, sawed, sawn. Say, said. See, saw, seen. Next slide. Seek, sought. Sell, sold. Send, sent. Set the same. Sew, sewn. Shake, shook, shaken. Shave, shove, shaven. So boring, but you have to read. Shear, shore, shown. Shed. This is same. Shine, shown. Shit is also same. Show, shoe, shot. Shoot, short. Show, showed, shown. Next slide. Shrink, shrank. Shrive, shrove, shriven. Shut. This is same. Sing, sang, sung. Sink, sank, sunk. Sit, sat. Slay, slew, slain. Next one. Sleep, slept. Slide, slid. Slink, slung. Slink, slunk. Slit. This is same. Smell, smelt. Smite, smote, smitten. Next one. Sneak, snuck. Speak, spoke, spoken. Then we have the speed, sped. Spend, spent. Spill, spilt. Spin, spun. Next slide. Spit, spat. Split. Spoil, spoiled. Spread. This is same. Spring, sprung. Stand, stood. Steal, stolen. Next slide. Stick, stuck. Sting, stung. Stink, stank, stunk. Strew, strewn. Stride, strode, stridden. Strike, struck, striken. String, strung. Strive, strove, striven. Memorize it.
So yeah, next list, let's see that now let's look at the group B. The group B are the verbs that remain the same in all the three forms. Now whether they are past form, past participle, every time they'll be same, right? So let us base form, past participle. The B group verbs remain same in all the three forms. Like we'll say bet and bat, burst, cost, bit, cast, cut, hit. All the three remain same. Next one, hurt, let, put, quit, read, set, shed. All are same in all the three forms. Like the next one is slit, shut, sublet, thirst, spread, upset. These are the words which remain same in all the three forms. Next one. Now group C verbs, they add ed to the main verb in the past tense and in the past participle. Fine. So next look at the group C. In this, the verbs that add ed to the main verb in the past tense as well as in the past participle. So their past tense as well as the past participle form. Both will have the ed, right? So this Anil Nair classes will not put in the list here, as that means we have to put more than hundreds and hundreds. As it is 176 words for the first list we have already given. So that means this list is very exhaustive. Simply if any verb has not been covered in these two lists given above, then it will be in the past tense and the past participle, which will be ending by en. Like wash and cook have not been covered in two lists. So it will be the group C, right? Next, see, washed, cooked. Both of them, they will have the ed form, right? Thanks.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.